Ready.
Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this afternoon, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, my Mario brother. Actually, my real brother, Alex.
The real brother,
My real brother.
You're not the only one with coffee today, by the way. I usually don't drink coffee because
I know.
I feel like my mouth gets real dry after doing all this talking.
Right?
But today I said, screw it, I'm drinking coffee.
I drink coffee all the time. It doesn't matter what I'm doing.
I think the weather today is kind of putting me in the coffee mood. So
it's supposed to be like another one of these historic winter blasts. It's supposed to get down like to negative 35 in Minnesota.
Not here.
No, not here.
Oh, okay.
Here it's gonna get cold here. We're supposed to, with the real feel, it's supposed to be like 50 today.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Bundle up, Houston.
Actually, now to be fair, the real cold comes in tonight and tomorrow, and it will feel like 32 degrees. Freezing. It will feel like it's freezing.
You know what I hate? The worst is having this type of weather on Monday mornings, right? To start the week, I work a regular 9 to 5, 8 to 5, whatever you want to call it. I don't feel like getting up in the morning. Like, that snooze button on my phone is completely worn out. Like, why can't
How old is your phone, bro? Whose phone's got buttons that you can wear out? What are you, like on a Samsung -3?
Yeah, it's got like an alarm clock on the back and the
It's got the
snooze
little
button.
bells on the Jesus.
Well, speaking of time, the time has finally come. You had no gray hair when baseball ended. Now you have all this gray hair, and finally Bryce Harper has signed.
Jeez, that took forever. Now, last week when we talked about this, I told you, I said I didn't think he was going to sign this week. I didn't think it was going to happen.
I did.
Yeah, you did. I really did not think it was going to happen. Apparently, and we talked about this as well, he had a end of February deadline because conveniently he signed on February 28th.
Right, yeah.
You know, so I think he had a...
So if it was a leap year, you think...
He'd have gone one more freaking day. Next year, somebody's going to go until the 29th.
But finally, Bryce Harper has signed.
He signed with the Phillies.
Kind of a weird contract. I don't think we've really seen one like this. I mean...
Well...
Not as far as dollar amounts.
Weird in what way?
Well, I think the big thing is no opt-outs, right?
No opt-outs
usually,
at all,
usually
right?
a player wants that going in, right,
Yeah.
to give themselves the opportunity to
The flexibility, right?
Right, and 13 years and no opt-outs? What's more surprising, the 13 years or the no opt-outs?
You know, the fact that the average value is only $25 million.
Or that, right?
I mean, that is amazing to me. The 330 doesn't surprise me. My guess, if you recall back in whenever, when we first started talking about this, you Jay, and I, Cousin Jay, the aforementioned
That's
Cousin
right.
Jay, who's on Cloud 9. My prediction was 340 for 10 years.
Yeah, right.
And so the 330 doesn't surprise me. The 13 years surprises me a little bit, but not too much. The 13 and 330 surprises me because it makes the average value so low. And the fact that it has no opt-outs. Because remember, one of the sales pitches was from the Dodgers, and the Dodgers apparently were offering a 5-year deal with a higher average value than the $30 million that Machado was getting. Right? I think they were offering, I heard they were offering somewhere in the neighborhood of $35 million a year. With the thought being that after 5 years, you can go through this free agency thing again and maybe get a $45 million a year contract. But he went a longer route with no opt-outs.
What do you think? I get the sense that the Phillies really played their cards right in this one. And Harper and Boris really struggled to get to the number that they wanted. Is what it feels like.
I just don't know what number they wanted.
I think it was 40 a year, right? Like 400 million, like 10-year 400.
Right.
I have a feeling that was their number for them to turn down a supposed offer that the Nationals had. I mean, I don't know for sure. It sounds like they did have a legit offer. For them to turn down a 10-year $300 million offer, right?
Yeah.
And then sign this that took 3 months
and
to
it's
come into agreement.
Not much better.
$330 million. I would expect a lot more.
I don't know. Yeah, at this point,
I almost have a feeling that Harper and Boris last minute just negotiated 13 years. I think they negotiated this to get longer.
To get the 330?
No, just to secure themselves. Right. To secure themselves 330.
Here's what I don't understand.
No?
Like, how could they not get 390 for 13 years? Like, how could they not get the $30 million average annual salary? Because Machado just signed for 30 a year. How could they not have gotten that? I would have thought that 30 a year would have been the baseline number for anything at, call it 8 years or greater. Right. Any contract 8 years or greater, it would have been $30 million. Any contract less than 8 years would have been more than $30 million. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. And considering the contract that he got, I can't imagine that contract is so much better than what San Francisco was offering, what the White Sox were offering. We know it's not that much more than what the Nationals were offering, right? Because the Nationals offered him $300 for 10. The Dodgers contract is kind of a different contract because they were going the short-term route. I really don't know what took so long.
Now, I can't be a hypocrite here because last week I talked about players and, do you really want to play for a team? Do you want the money?
Right.
I mean, he did exactly kind of what I've been wanting players to do in a sense.
To be fair, I don't know this for sure, but I think Bryce Harper listened to the Positive Sports podcast last week, and he said, I'm going to go where I really want to be, and I want to be in Philadelphia. I love cheesesteaks. And, I don't care that they're offering only $25 million a year and they want to lock me up for 13 years with no opt-out. That's where I want to be, damn it, and that's where I'm going to go.
Well, I mean, he must have.
That's the only explanation, really.
It sounds like a good one to me.
Because he could have gotten $35 million a year, I believe.
Harper, I mean, since you listen to us, you might as well come on board and give us an interview. We would love to have you on the show.
I would love that. Yeah, I'd interview him.
Hit us up at Positive Sports 6 on Twitter.
That's right. Or, if you want to email the show, you can email the show at positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. If you don't want to talk to Alex, because he kind of ratted your plan out, True. I understand. You can reach me on Twitter at eMontana21.
Now, that would be something if we can get Bryce Harper. Like, what on earth?
Can we even fit him and his fat-ass contract in this?
I mean, seriously. I mean, just bring some donuts, okay? I'm sure you can afford them now.
Yeah, don't come empty-handed, Bryce.
Give us some
Don't act
bags.
like you're doing us a favor, all right, bro?
Now, maybe the reason for signing with the Phillies is the flexibility that the Phillies have going forward. I mean, there's still so much that I don't think they're even touching the luxury tax deal.
They've got a lot of room.
They got a lot of room. They can certainly make a run next year at a free agent or the following year at Mike Trout.
That's right.
Maybe this is Harper really wanting to be a team player and win.
Yeah, maybe that's why he took $25 million instead of.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Look, Bryce Harper gets a lot of heat. I think he gets a lot of hate from people. Because he was a prodigy at 15. At 15, he was hitting 400-foot home runs.
Well,
and people were talking about him, right?
He made the cover of Sports Illustrated at 16.
Right. So he's always gotten, I think, an unfair amount of hate for it. But I don't see anything wrong with this deal. Like, I can't see why you would hate Bryce Harper for this deal. He went out to the market. He didn't say squat about his contract last year. Which, he could have talked like some guys talk. He had a crappy first half, and he did better in the second half. Didn't say a word. Went out to the market, shopped himself around, kept relatively quiet throughout this whole process, and ended up taking a deal that is team friendly.
Very.
And it pays him
security.
it pays him, in my opinion, it pays him less than fair market value because I think he could have gotten more.
Yeah.
So, hate all you want. I have no qualms with Bryce Harper. I think he's a fantastic player, and I think in this situation, I think he handled it well. And even Boris kind of comes out smelling like a rose here, which is kind of weird.
That is.
Because Boris
He never smells that good.
Well, I've never been that close to him, but so yeah, it's. I hate to say this, but aside from the fact that we now know what team he goes to, it's kind of been a bit of a dud.
Yeah,
right? Because
all the build up.
All the build-up. Is he going to be the first $400 million man? This, that, and the other thing. And, all these teams are going to want. The free agency frenzy wasn't quite what we expected it to be. The contract's not what we expected it to be. Heck, even his press conference really wasn't what we expected it to be. I mean, he was just kind of like out at the ballpark, just
I have an issue with that. Like, I don't want to see a press conference at the ballpark on, at 2:00 in the afternoon in Clearwater, Florida. I mean, could they put a tent over them or something? Seriously.
Yeah, I know. It was very.
I mean, I was even squinting my eyes looking at the press conference.
It was weird, but look, hey, and we know this firsthand, right? Because of our cousin Jay. But Philly fans have to be over the freaking moon about this.
Well, are they over the moon because they got Bryce Harper, or because he showed his jitterbugs yesterday and says, I want to bring a title back to DC.
That was a little unnerving.
Ouch!
Yeah.
I don't see a big deal. I truly think he was nervous. He looked nervous. He looked nervous.
Yeah,
so I'll give him a pass. Even though...
But it's a terrible thing to say.
And I mean, I got to throw a little dirt on Philly here because I just do, because that's what I do. The guy, you can tell Bryce Harper hasn't won a World Series. The guy said the bowl or whatever that thing is. He doesn't even know what a championship float is. Right? I mean...
Yeah. Well, the guy hasn't...
He said banana bowl, whatever he said.
He hasn't won. I just hope that he doesn't... he's notoriously... In spite of what happened last year, he's usually very good in April and May. I hope he doesn't start off like he started off last year in DC, because if he starts off like 1 for 28, the Philly fans are going to torch him.
You know what
a team friendly contract or not.
You know what I'm almost afraid of, and I don't know if it's for the Phillies or for Bryce Harper, is that I feel that every at bat that he has at Citizens Bank Park is going to be like a home run derby. They're going to be expecting a home run. That is such a hitter-friendly... He's got the second most home runs at that ballpark with 14. God. Yeah, so, he hits very well there. And it's perfect for a left-hander like him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Chase Utley, who didn't have all that power, he hit pretty well at that park. So... I almost feel like the fans are going to go there expecting a home run every single time. And while I think Bryce Harper has the ability to do that, if he goes on a if he hits a bump in the road and
he will hit a bump in the road, right? That's the nature of baseball. It just can't happen right out of the gate. If it happens right out of the gate, it could be tough. But I think he's going to do fine.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's terribly bothered by the media attention. I mean, he's used to this.
Yeah.
I mean, we say he's only 26 or 27, however old he is, but remember, he's been in the spotlight, like you said, for a decade now.
Yeah.
He's not going to be. It's not this stuff isn't going to bother him. He's a good ball player. He's just a genuinely good ball player. Personally, I love his swing.
Yeah, no, I like Bryce Harper. It just sucks that he went to the wrong team. That's all.
Yeah.
2 things before we get into a little game that we're gonna play. Okay. 2 things.
We're playing games now on the podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Who's gonna be better at the end of the day? After 10 years, who's gonna be better? The Padres or the Phillies?
The Phillies.
The Phillies?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, the Padres will find a way to fuck it up. I mean, I hate to say that. But... Well, and to be fair,
just funny.
and to be fair, the Phillies have made other moves this offseason that are going to help them, right?
Yeah.
They picked up the catcher from the Marlins, Real Muto.
Yeah.
They got McCutchen, who's not great but serviceable.
Oh yeah.
They've made some moves.
Former MVP. These are all all-stars that they got.
I mean, so they
Jean Segura.
Segura is a good pickup as well. So they have really positioned themselves to be successful this season.
Right.
Whereas the Padres are still working a couple of years down the line, I think. And Machado's a great pickup, but they still have some other problems, right? Like they still have what's his face that they paid a ridiculous amount of
Hosmer, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
If that guy doesn't come around, that's dead money that it puts a damper on what they're trying to do or what they may want to do going forward.
Yeah.
Less financial flexibility than we think they have, right?
Well,
right now we think of them as just Manny Machado, but they do have another pretty big contract that doesn't give them as much freedom as maybe they would like.
Well, I think the somewhat of an advantage that they have is that their payroll is not going to be that tight because they have these prospects that that they're going to be
gives them flexibility.
Right.
So now that Harper is in the NL East, fair to say the Phillies are the favorite in the NL East? No. Who's the favorite?
No.
You still think Atlanta's better?
I think no.
The Nationals?
Yes. I think the Nationals did a lot with their pitching staff.
Addition by subtraction?
I mean, they didn't win with him.
True.
So maybe, maybe he just didn't fit. I don't know.
I think the Phillies have made enough moves to push themselves ahead of both of those teams.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
and then you got Miami and the Mets fighting at the bottom.
Yeah. I think
crabs in a bucket.
I think the Nationals, in my eyes, are the favorite to win that division. One more. 13-year contract. That's pretty long.
Yes.
He's an outfielder. He's not that great of an outfielder. Does this open the door for the DH in the National League?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think any one contract's going to do it. If anything makes the DH happen in the National League, it'll be the push by the Players Association because it gets one more guy on the roster, so to speak. And personally, I don't want the DH in the National League. I don't want the DH anywhere, to be honest with you. But I'm fine with it being the way it is right now. I hope they don't add it to the National League. I like the different nuance in the game. I do think it's kind of stupid that one league plays by one rule and the other league plays by the other. I think that's dumb. But at the end of the day, I would rather they go back to no DH.
Yeah,
just one man's opinion.
I almost rather them just leave it the way it is because then if they change it, then I just feel like it's just not. I don't know.
I don't understand.
I don't even understand why they did it this way to begin with.
Right? Like, why did they? Okay, we want to add a DH. Okay, but we're only going to add it here. Like, whose idea was that?
They all play under the same rules except for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. Really...
It's like moving the 3-point line back in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, right.
Which would explain why Steph Curry is so good.
That's right. So they should move it back in the Western Conference.
That's right, to even things out. Like, it's just dumb. I don't understand why they do that stuff. But
yeah, I don't know.
Whatever. To each his own.
All right, so since I think free agency's over, right? There's a couple names there
There's a couple names out there that
are
I'm
still out there.
About.
But we got plenty of free agents that switched jerseys.
Right.
And Major League Baseball, MLB.com, whatever you want to call it, put out a uniform bracket, right?
Oh,
Top MLB uniform.
Okay.
And so I figure we incorporate that here since baseball's almost here. We're talking about free agency.
Just the jersey we're worried about here, right?
Just the jersey.
Okay.
We're not worried about nothing else but the jersey. Let's have some fun with this.
Okay.
I think you guys are going to like this one.
All right.
They broke it down, obviously, National League, American League.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to worry about the DH rule here. Doesn't come into play.
Good.
Okay. Or the VAR.
Or good.
Or replay or the pitch clock.
Thank goodness. No pitch clock on this one. Okay, good.
They did break it down by division. 4 teams from the East, Central, and West, and then 3 leftover teams. I guess, on the fourth.
They
fourth
took
bracket.
one team out of
so,
each division.
So we're not going to have the Yankees and the Red Sox competing in the very first round. So I think that was all.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. So who did they take out of each division? Who's in that last pot?
So in the last bracket on the very bottom, you got the Red Sox, the Indians, and the Astros.
Okay, so let's do that one first.
The play-in. Let's do the play-in game.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of like a playing game, right?
All right. So who's got the best uniform? The Red Sox, the Indians, or the Astros?
That's a tough one. I'm going to show my bias here because I don't like it when teams change their uniforms over and over again. So right now you can tell I'm not going to pick the Astros. Right? Because the Astros have changed their uniform over the years.
Yeah.
They haven't kept it consistent. So for me, it's between the Red Sox and the Indians. The Red Sox uniform, they're both classic, right?
Yeah.
I like them both. But there's something about Chief Wahoo with the Indians that I really like. So I'm going to go with the Indians on that one. The Red Sox is just a B.
I like the Chief Wahoo. They should not get rid of that. But my pick has to be the Astros. I mean, come on. It's so colorful. It's yeah. I mean, the orange, the white, and that like navy blue really blends.
What about when they had the blue and the gold and the white?
Okay, I'm not taking that one into account. That was pretty bad.
And then before that, they had the yellow to orange rainbow.
Yes, that one. That's a classic right there, man.
So are we talking team uniform, all of them in their history, or are we talking about their current uniform?
I mean, we can just. I don't know. That's a good question.
See, that's why I can't. That's why I can't fucks with teams that have several uniforms over a period of time. Because right about the time I fall in love with it, they get rid of it. Or I hated it. So there's this period of time where I hated it.
I think we should just look at the uniform deal as a whole.
Okay, so you're taking the Astros.
I'm taking that's
okay.
That's such a fresh uniform.
All right,
man.
let's go. Come on, we got 8 brackets here. We can do this all day.
All right, so we'll go to the West.
Okay.
This should be a good one. Well, nah. The Angels, the Athletics, the Mariners, and the Rangers. I think right off the bat, you and I can get rid of the Texas Rangers. That's just a boring uniform.
It's boring. It's red, white, and blue. I'm American.
That's right.
I like America. Yeah. America. But there's a whole bunch of red, white, and blue. Exactly. Which is going to tell you who I'm picking here.
And, wow, you're going...
Who am I going with?
You're being biased again, and you're going with Ohtani. You're going with the Angels.
No. No, I'm going with the A's. How many lime green uniforms do you get? Not very many.
No?
Right? So
None.
I'm going to go with the uniqueness here of the A's, plus they have the script A, and their logo. When they use the logo, the elephant with the bat...
You like that?
I like that.
Okay.
So I'm going to go A's.
That's a good one. I like the Angels' old uniform. Like, with the... I think it had the halo and the A.
The A with the halo over it?
Yes.
I like that too, yes.
But I'm not picking them.
Really?
I'm picking the Mariners.
See, again, too many different uniforms over the history.
Bro, listen. They had possibly the best outfielder that I've seen with the sweetest swing that I've seen don this uniform. I mean, do you know my first hat?
It's just got to be the uniform, not the players in it.
Yeah, I know, but it's the uniform made them better. So they get extra points. Do you know my first ever baseball cap was a Seattle Mariner baseball cap?
Really?
Do you know where I bought it? I bought it in Philly. You know who I was with? Cousin Jay. Go figure. So
now, back in the day, they had the Mariner logo that was the pitchfork. That was
okay.
Cool.
With like the M.
Yeah, I like that.
That was good. That was good.
But yeah, again, it's changed too much over time. I can't pick it.
Okay. Well, I'm picking the Mariners. You're going with the A's.
Yeah, you better write these down because then we got to play it all the way through.
Yeah, that's right. We will.
So I've got Indians and A's so far.
Okay. The next division, we're gonna go to the Central.
Who do you write down? What you?
Yeah, I will.
Don't forget.
We're gonna go Royals, White Sox, Tigers, Twins. This is a tough one because
it is. This is a tough one
because they're kind of bland, all of them.
Yeah, no? I like the old school, old English D for Detroit. And you notice I'm looking mostly at home uniforms. I'm not looking at visiting uniforms.
I haven't. Yeah.
That's kind of the way I think about it. So I'm going with Detroit. I like the old school D. I'll tell you what. I wish the Royals weren't in there because I like the Royals uniform. The old classic KC with the little crown on it. I like that one too.
The powder blue. I'm kind of a sucker for that powder blue. Right?
I thought the powder blue was cool. So it's a close one, but I'm going to go with the classic Detroit.
Yeah.
The white with the old English D on the chest.
See, the White Sox were just black and white, and then back in the day they had those like baggy red and white with red pinstripes.
Yeah, no.
The Twins,
Here's my problem with the Twins. I've never seen their logo have
Twins
on it.
Right?
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, it doesn't do anything for me.
I'm gonna have to go with the Royals just because of the powder blue. I think that's.
Here's a question for you since we're talking about uniforms. I like this, and teams sometimes get away from this, but I don't like it when they do. At home, you wear your logo, your team name, or whatever. On the road, the name of your city.
The city.
Right?
Right.
Like, that's the way I think it should be.
Yes. That's the way it is, though.
Not all teams mess around with that.
That's lately, right? That's within like the last...
Again, that's teams like the Astros that have 5 different uniforms, and the Nationals, and all these newer teams are trying to be newer.
Well, they got to progress with time.
All right, so you got it. I got Detroit.
You got Detroit, and I got KC. Okay.
All right, so now that we go to the AL East, you got the Yankees, Orioles, Blue Jays, and Devil Rays.
And the Rays. Are the Devil Rays or the Rays?
They're still the Devil Rays.
They're still the Devil Rays? Okay.
Okay, the D-Rays are out because they've had 65 different uniforms, right? So I'm not picking them.
Okay.
The orange and black of the Orioles, it's got too much white in it. It kind of wants to look tough, but it's not. Don't like it.
You don't like their little logo?
Their logo, I'm not a big fan of.
I don't even know what an Oriole is.
Yeah, it's a bird.
It's a bird?
That's
that doesn't look like a bird. It looks like a freaking Curious George.
Right, but it's a bird. And then you've got the Yankees and the Blue Jays. I like the Blue Jays uniform. I liked it when they had the writing with the line inside the letter, right? So...
Oh, yeah.
Right? Where it looked like 2 lines were making up the letter, right?
I agree.
I like that. And I like Toronto. I like their uniforms, their home and road. But I'm going to be a homer here. The classic Yankees uniform. How could you not like the Yankees uniform?
I like it, but I've been watching baseball for so long that it's boring. It's a boring uniform. It doesn't make it... There's nothing that stands out about it. Like, I don't even know who the players are. There's no names on the back.
See, I like that. I like it. And the other thing I like is, that whole Evil Empire thing. That name came about well after the uniform. Mm-hmm. But now when you look at the uniform, even looking at the uniform with the pinstripes, the white and the black,
the colors,
it kind of looks like an Evil Empire, right? So it kind of plays into that role and whatnot. So I'm gonna go Yankees.
See, so I didn't want to do this, but I'm being a sucker for the powder blue and the Blue Jays rock. They have a powder blue also.
Yes, they did.
I
don't think they have it anymore.
I don't really remember. I like the color scheme is good. It's the hat. I like the 2-tone color hat that they use sometimes, and I remember watching the Blue Jays in '93 winning the World Series on a walk-off. Cousin Jay, you're gonna love me for this one, man. I'm picking the Blue Jays, baby. I'm picking the Blue Jays.
Jeez, what a terrible reason. Anyway.
I mean the Yankees that's a boring uniform. The Rays the
Rays have too many uniforms.
They're
the definition of too many uniforms.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. And the Orioles are just whatever, orange and
anyway.
Whatever.
Onward.
Are we going to national?
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with the playing game again.
Okay,
down
good.
Here, okay.
Good. What do we got?
We got the Braves, the Brewers, and the Dodgers.
Oh shit. You go first. That one's too hard for me, man. I like all 3 of those unis.
I love the Dodgers uniform.
Love it. Love it.
It's such a classic. It's got a real old school nostalgic feel to it.
I love the Dodgers uniform.
The Braves aren't bad either. It just doesn't.
The word Braves right over the tomahawk.
It's pretty cool. I like it. But I have to go with the Milwaukee Brewers because not even a year ago, I finally figured out what the hell their logo was. Okay? And when I figured that out, okay, thanks to Twitter, I almost had a baby. I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
I remember that too. I remember that too, which, by the way, makes me think you're not allowed to pick the Brewers because...
Well, no, I got to give
you've been watching baseball your entire life and didn't figure that out.
I swear to God.
In case people are wondering, just to explain real quick, the Brewers, and I don't think they do it now, maybe on throwback days, but their logo was a baseball glove, but the thumb part of the glove made a B,
right,
and then the
fingers,
the individual fingers made the M for Milwaukee Brewers with a baseball in the middle. And numbnuts over here watched baseball forever and a day and never noticed that until someone explained it to him.
It's probably been exactly a year ago. and so I'm going more towards their old school uniform,
right.
But even their present day one is pretty neat. I'm going with the Brewers. I gotta give them their props on this one.
I'll tell you what, that is a tough bracket for me. I like the Braves uniform. You know, it's the word Braves over the tomahawk. I always thought that was really cool. So I like it. The color scheme is bold. I like that. The Brewers, I think, is a classic. You know, again, probably one of the best logos. And then the Dodgers is a all-time classic. I have a special place in my heart for the Dodgers just because they played in Brooklyn. I'm not exactly a Dodgers fan, but I kind of am. You know, I kind of like them for that reason. And I'm going to let my bias show here. I'm going to go with the Dodgers.
You're being boring just like some of these uniforms.
Yeah, well.
Jeez.
Hey, I'm old.
All right, you're definitely old school, yes. All right, next bracket, we're going to go to the West.
Okay.
This should be a good one because Diamondbacks, Rockies, the Fathers, the Padres, and the Giants.
See, to me, this is an easy two-team race right here.
Ooh, two-team race.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there is no room for the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. Because, again...
Are they too new?
Well, not only that, but those teams have 50 different uniforms. I don't like the black and purple. The Rockies have had less uniforms than the Diamondbacks. Yeah. But the black and purple doesn't work for me. I just don't like it. And the Diamondbacks have had too many different uniforms. I have no idea what uniform I'm even thinking about when I think about the Diamondbacks.
They really have had a lot.
Yeah, so
for a team that's only been around for 20 years, 25 years?
Right.
Okay.
So to me, it's very clearly between the Padres and the Giants. And I think if the Padres still had the monk on their uniform, I think I would pick them because I really like that. Plus, the brown and yellow is very unique, right? Like, what other team has brown and yellow in their colors? But the fact of the matter is they don't. And they do the camouflage uniform too much. You're playing baseball. You're not at war. Put the camouflage uniforms away. I'm going to go with the Giants.
That's a good pick. If the Padres had fathers written on them, I would definitely pick them.
You don't like the fact that they're biased towards their Hispanic population?
Yeah, they got to put fathers on. So they're eliminated. I'm going to go a little different here. I'm going to say the Diamondbacks.
Oh, jeez.
I like that they have... Their uniform is very weird. I can't tell what it says sometimes. I can't tell if it says Arizona or Diamondbacks. It's and I'm not...
Or D-backs.
Or D-backs.
Which is too close to D-backs.
Yeah, seriously. That's what it might say.
it might say douchebags and we don't even know.
They don't have Pollock anymore. They don't have Goldschmidt, so that they could be D-bags now. But I'm picking the Diamondbacks. I think it's a. I'm not a big fan of the camouflage, but they're not. Those uniforms that they have are not exactly camouflage, but just a little bit, and it's just different. It's different, and when and if I'm judging it by just this division, the other ones are boring to me. You know, like there's nothing special about the Rockies and Padres and Giants uniforms. The Diamondbacks bring some flavor. Arizona's got some flavor in here.
You know those people voted to not have Martin Luther King be a holiday, right? I think that's
the
epitome of lacking flavor.
That has nothing to do with our bracket uniform right now. So I got the Diamondbacks. Ed's got the
Giants. Write it down. I can tell you're going to forget.
All right, this is going to be a good one.
Okay.
This might be one of the hardest ones here.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Cubs, the Reds, the Pirates, and the Cardinals. I think this is a tough one.
This is tough. I really like the Cubs uniforms. Again, classic, hasn't changed. Doesn't need to. It's got the little cub in the C. I like that.
Okay.
The Cardinals uniform, okay. Doesn't blow my socks off. The Pirates uniform, the one back in the day with the funky hat.
Oh, yeah.
The black hat with the yellow lines on it. I really like that one. And the black and yellow scheme is kind of cool. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan, but the black and yellow to me looks cool. And I like the fact this is kind of overlooked, and I know it's outside of the scope of this contest, but
it's okay.
I like the fact that all of the Pittsburgh teams have a black and yellow color scheme. The Pirates, the Penguins, the Steelers. Who else? That's it, right? Those are the they don't have anything else in Pittsburgh. They don't have a basketball team.
That's a very good point there. I
don't think any other city has that. Yeah? Right? Because St. Louis did when it had the Cardinals, but when it had the Cardinals in football, but then they got the Rams,
right?
Which kind of fucked that up.
The Rams and the Blues kind of have the similar.
And then you got the Cardinals, which are red. So I can't think of another city that's got. And I'm sure someone. Now that I said that, I'm sure someone's gonna rip me a new one.
Hey, you're a dumbass.
What about Nashville? All the teams in Nashville. I was like, great. I don't even know where Nashville is. Thanks. I'm probably gonna get ripped for that as well.
Yes, you will.
Some geography, some third grade geography teacher's gonna reach out to us.
Elvis Presley's gonna come and strike down on you.
Man, that is tough. And the Reds, I like the old Reds uniform. It was classic. It's all right. I'm gonna have to go with the Cubs. Yeah. I'm going with a lot of the old school teams here, but
yeah, you are.
To me, it's the Cubs or the Pirates, and I think the Cubs just they've got the pinstripe, which I think the pinstripe always looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm a Cubs guy on this one.
Yeah, for me, it came down to the Cardinals and the Pirates. The Cardinals also have that kind of like that beige toned uniform that they bring out every once in a while, like the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's like a once every 5 years uniform.
Okay, but it's still part of their resume. Nah. And I like the Cardinal on the bat, the logo on the jersey. Cool. Yeah. That's pretty good. But I gotta go with the Pirates. I mean, black and yellow, Wiz Khalifa. I mean, you just have to go with the Pirates.
That makes sense.
I mean, Roberto Clemente. I mean, the yellow and black really is a good looking scheme, I think.
Yeah.
I find the Pirates scheme color and the A's very. They blend. But they blend in pretty. Like
they work well together.
Like I'm never gonna wear a yellow shirt and green pants.
Right.
If I go out.
But they do it all the time.
But they do it every day.
They do it every day.
They do it for 6 months of the year.
That's a talent. That's a talent.
So I got the Pirates. You got the Cubbies, right?
Alrighty. NL East now, or what's left of the NL East.
Yes, we got the Marlins, the Mets, the Phillies, and the Nationals.
Okay. So I really like the Expos uniform.
Okay.
Too bad they don't have it anymore.
Okay.
If they were still the Expos, I'd have gone with Montreal.
Okay, fair enough.
But they're not. They're the Nationals. And the Nationals in Miami are, again, they're teams that they've got like 65. You can't buy a team jersey for those guys because 2 years from now, it's out of date. Right? They're like soccer jerseys in Europe. You got to buy a new one every year because the sponsor across the chest changes. Yeah. Well, here there's no sponsor. They just change the colors or whatever. I don't like it. So they're out to me. So to me, it comes down to the Mets and the Phillies. I love the blue and the orange of the Mets.
Of course.
Obviously, I'm biased here. I really like the Phillies uniform now. The ones they had back in the old days, they had more of a maroon pinstripe for their home uniform. I didn't like the maroon.
No?
When they switched over to this more red, white, and blue thing, I really like it. It looks sharp. I don't understand why the Philly Fanatic is green, though, because I've never seen green in their uniform. Anyway, that's an argument for a different
day. Good point.
So, but yeah, my bias isn't going to let me not pick the Mets here.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll get away from my bias as we get into the quarterfinals and semifinals, but now I'm going to go Mets.
Yeah.
I know you're going to go Mets.
Got to eliminate the Marlins off the bat.
Especially because you don't know who plays for them anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. No, they all play for different teams, right? The Nationals. You know what? I'm gonna do something a little different here. I'm substituting the Nationals for the Expos. You really took my idea away. First of all, the Nationals logo looks like a Walgreens W. Okay,
Exactly. It is a Walgreens
It
W.
is, right? So we're substituting them. I'm
Okay.
putting the Expos in there.
Okay.
And
Hold on, let me check with the producer. Yeah, you can do that.
Thank you. And basically, it's a three team race, 3 uniform race here.
Yeah.
I mean, the Phillies, the Mets, and the Expos, and you know, I really like the Phillies' old and new uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know. It's just, and they used to have the powder blue, so I'm kind of.
Oh, that's right.
Right? Didn't they?
They did.
I happen to like the more that red, that crimson color red that they had, or whatever it was.
Right. I called it maroon, but
Maroon, whatever. Same shit. I'm gonna go with the Expos, man. I'm gonna go with the Expos. I just think.
Why didn't you tell me that was available to me? Damn it.
Well, because I already, I was thinking ahead. I gotta go with the Expos. I have no idea what their logo is. Like, what is that logo supposed? Is that an M?
It's an Expo. I don't know what it is either. What is Expo short for?
Expedition? I don't know. A Montreal expediter?
Expedition is EXPED.
Yes, I know.
And they're the Expos, EXPO.
Well,
I was thinking more like exposition.
Exposition.
I don't know.
You know what? The fact that we don't know what it is, I'm picking the Montreal Expos.
Sounds good to me, man.
We're bringing them into this bracket. We're bringing the Expos. We're bringing the Expos back. Baseball doesn't want to do it. We're bringing it back.
I wish they would. We have Toronto. Why can't we have Montreal?
I agree. Why not?
Just one man's opinion.
All right. So we're moving on to the second round.
All right. The quarterfinals.
We're going to go back. You want to go back to the
American League, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
We're going to start at the top.
Okay.
You had the Yankees and the Tigers.
I'm going to go Yankees.
Really?
It's classic. It's good.
That's a tough one. I because I think both of these. Well, that's who you had. I can't. Yeah, I'm not picking. I don't care who you had.
You have.
I have
City and Toronto. That's a good matchup.
That is a good matchup. It's the battle of the powder blue again.
Yeah.
I gotta go Toronto. Just there's a little more life in their uniform. And
then Kansas City, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, although I kind of like the crown, but Kansas City, you get a.
It's a close one, but I'm not. I don't think you're wrong for picking.
They get a couple points taken off for winning in 2015. I didn't like that. I didn't like that one bit. You really hurt yourselves there, Kansas City.
Might want to rethink that next time around.
Yeah. Seriously.
If you're in the World Series against the Mets and you want to win the uniform competition 4 years later, maybe you let the Mets win.
That's right. You got to foresee the future here, okay?
Think ahead.
All right, so I'm picking Toronto on that one. In the lower half, you got the Indians and the Athletics.
I'm going to go with the A's.
Yeah.
Again, unique colors.
You
don't see that green and gold anywhere else.
No.
You see very little green, period.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You really don't. And I mean, Oregon in college maybe has a.
Yeah.
But other than that, you don't see it much.
I like the uniqueness of the A's.
Okay. This is a tough one for me. The Mariners and the Astros.
See, to me, this one's a no-brainer.
Really, I'll guess
between those two. That's a no-brainer.
I'll take a stab at who you're picking, but to me, this is a tough one. I mean, I really like the Astros uniform here. I just like it that they figured out to incorporate multiple colors and make it nice. And I forgot. Oh, hold on. This really may change my outlook here. The orange Astrodome, right? Wasn't that part of their logo? Yeah. That's pretty sweet. I mean, we're talking about the eighth wonder here.
Yeah.
You know what?
Which no one uses.
That completely swayed my vote here. I'm picking the Astros over the Mariners.
I agree.
Yeah?
Yeah. To me, that was a no-brainer.
Okay, I thought you were picking the Mariners.
No. To me, that's a no-brainer.
And I really like the Mariners uniforms here. Like,
I don't like them present day.
No?
I like the old one.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago.
Okay.
And they've gone through five iterations since.
Yeah, there's a lot of these teams have rebuilt their uniforms.
Yeah, see, and that's what I don't like.
So I'm going Houston here.
All right, and then in the National League, I've got an old-fashioned West Classic. The Dodgers and the Giants. I'm going to go with the Dodgers. It's just too classic to pass up on it.
The Dodgers.
The Dodgers, yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I
got Milwaukee and the Diamondbacks, the Brewers and the Diamondbacks.
No-brainer.
I mean, this is easy. I think you know, the glove, the M and the B hold a lot of weight here. Not to mention
that you didn't know about.
That I did not know about. I mean, that really swings the thing here. So I got to go with the Brewers.
Okay.
Right.
And then in the other matchup, I've got the Cubs and the Mets. This is hard.
You picked the Dodgers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a difficult one because I really do like both uniforms, but I'm gonna go
very
with the Cubs.
similar. Very similar.
Yeah, very similar. But I'm gonna go with the Cubs.
Really?
I like the C with the little bear inside. I'm a cuddly kind of guy. I'm gonna go Cubs.
I've got the Steelers.
They're not gonna win.
I got the Pirates and the Expos. Now the Expos made it in, you know,
but they can't win this.
But they can't win this thing. They can't win it. Just like
they gotta get eliminated at some point.
I mean,
right?
just because they can't win the World Series. There's no way I can have them winning the best uniform. Although you know, the blue really, I really like, but something about that black and yellow. I think that
stick with Pittsburgh.
I'm sticking with the Pirates on this one. Got to.
All right. And then
the Final Four.
The Final Four. So in one semifinal, I've got the A's and the Yankees. I'm going to go A's because I like the green and yellow combo that no one else has. It's unique. I really like the Yankees uniform. I've already said that, but I like the A's. I'm going to go with the A's here.
Give us your National League pick.
The Dodgers and the Cubs. Again, classics, but I like the Dodgers uniform better. The plain white. It always looks like when they start the game, their white looks whiter than everyone else's. I'm not quite sure how that happens, but it does. And so I'm going to go with that. It's just super crisp.
They must have very good washers and dryers.
Exactly. Maybe that's what it is.
In the American League, I got Houston and Toronto. That's
a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Even to me, that's a tough one.
Oh, man. I got to go with Toronto. And this is why. And, you know, and I for me, I've taken into account pretty much all the uniforms.
Way too much.
Yeah,
We're
like
talking about fucking uniforms.
Yeah, from way back. But if I had to say the consistency and up to date, who's got the better looking uniform, I gotta say the Toronto Blue Jays.
All right,
I gotta pick them.
And then your National League representative will be from the NL Central.
Oh man, we got
Milwaukee
Pittsburgh
and
Milwaukee. That's a tough one too, man. I mean, I gotta go with Pittsburgh again. I think Milwaukee's present day uniform, the one that they use the most,
right,
hurts him in this situation.
Yep,
you know,
I agree with you.
And so Pittsburgh's been really consistent with their uniform.
They haven't changed colors or anything like that.
So I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh.
See, they've used the same shade of black and yellow the whole time.
Right.
All right, and then my champion, A's and Dodgers. I'm gonna go with the Dodgers. It's classic. It's too close to call, but I think the Dodgers pull this one out in my book.
All right, good deal. I got the Blue Jays and the Pirates. I mean, I think my matchups here have been way tougher than yours. I think you've gone a more
to be fair,
easier route.
To be fair, we're talking about fucking uniforms here, and you've thought about this way too much.
Well, yeah. I mean, something like this, you have to make it way too much fun. You got to make it fun somehow. So, I mean, look, Pittsburgh's black and yellow is so classic. But the fact that the Steelers and the Penguins are using the same scheme does not make it unique for the Pirates.
That's true.
And the fact that fucking Toronto beat the Phillies and I watched it in 93, I don't care. I was 11 years old. I was sitting at Cousin Jay's house and we watched it together, bro.
Oh, my God.
I mean, my memories of Toronto run deep.
And they're positive ones.
And their uniforms, I think are really. I like the color scheme, the powder blue, the blue jay, the two-tone hat really does. I'm a hat guy. If you haven't noticed, I'm a hat guy. I mean, you look at my hat now. I mean, it's pretty close.
Two-tone.
Yeah, but it's blue and white.
Right.
It needs a little bit of red in there. But so I love hats. And, Toronto's uniform is the winner for me here.
Toronto wins.
That's
about the only thing they're going to win this year.
And they would, and listen, they would even beat your Dodgers.
No.
Oh, yeah. In this uniform challenge,
they
Toronto
wouldn't
would
beat
win.
the Dodgers in the uniform challenge, and they certainly wouldn't beat the Dodgers on the baseball field.
Well,
although they will have the Rookie of the Year.
Ooh, bold pick. I mean, this is not even our preview show. You're giving a bold pick already?
No, just a teaser.
Remember, the Dodgers may have won the uniform bracket right here, but the last 2 years, I mean, they fall pretty short. So Toronto,
they've made it to the World Series.
So Toronto would beat them this year.
Yeah, 3 in a row, right?
That was fun.
That was
cool that they did that.
That's way more thinking about uniforms than I've ever done in my entire life.
Well, sometimes you gotta
do something different.
Think out the box.
Let's see what else is going on. So
we're gonna do a baseball preview. I'm assuming.
I think next week or the week after.
Definitely look out for that, everybody. We're gonna preview the MLB season.
Are you gonna make like all homer picks?
Oh, definitely.
So we can expect you to pick the Mets to win the World Series.
Do you even need me here for that?
Jacob deGrom to win the Cy Young.
Yeah, Mickey Callaway, Manager of the Year. The Will Ponds, Owners of the Year. I mean, come on, man. Me, the Fan of the Year.
That's right? Fan of the Year.
I mean, I'll skip that part,
So we should do all of the MLB except for the NL East.
Yes, I agree. Well, you can do it. I don't have to. You already know.
The Mets are going to win the NL East by 28 games.
Probably even more than that. I mean, come on, man.
Here's a good question. Would you be happier if the Mets were challenged and barely won their division, and then in the playoffs, the series went 7 games, and the World Series went 7 games, but the Mets won? Or would you be happier if the Mets, won 115 games, won the division by 20 games, swept through the LDS, swept through the LCS, and then swept through the World Series? Which would make you happier?
Make me happier would be... So the key point there is...
Same result.
Right, same result. So, without a doubt, the not dominating one.
Really?
Yeah, because that means that, again, playing the result, right? We won the whole thing. So that means in the division, we battled tough with the Braves. We battled tough with the Nationals. We battled tough with the Phillies.
And the Marlins.
Oh, yeah, and the Marlins. the Florida Marlins.
Miami, they're from down there somewhere.
And we won. There were,
okay, but what if you didn't know that was going to be the result?
Oh, okay. Then I want the type of season that the Red Sox had last year. They dominated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
interesting.
I know. I want to see. I want to see a good fight.
See, I have not seen the Mets win closely. The only one I've seen was in '86 when they blew through But that year I got a taste of both, right? Because they blew through the regular season, won the division by 20 games, and then in the playoffs,
that's right,
they were in a dogfight with the Astros, and then in a dogfight with the Red Sox that went down to Game 7. So, and I'm trying to think back. I was 15 at the time, so it's kind of hard to remember how I felt. But I think I enjoyed the season more than the playoffs. The playoffs was just a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
All the time. You
know what's weird is either way, I think it's a heart attack for me. Because in 15, I don't remember 86. Mm-hmm. But in 2015, when we lost in the World Series, we really kind of dominated the playoffs. I mean, we swept through the Cubs,
right.
and even that was
beat the brakes off the Cubs.
Yeah, but even that was a kind of like a heart attack for me. Like I was like on the edge of my seat all games. So I don't think it really matters. I'll end up in the hospital one way or the other.
It's just nice when your team wins the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
it's an incredible feeling. But
yeah, I can't wait to preview it. I think it's gonna be a little different this year. I don't think we're gonna have the disparity. Not the disparity. I don't think we're gonna have the same teams that we had last year.
I tell you what, I will say this. This year, I think one league is more wide open than I can ever remember.
Well, you're gonna say the National League.
If I think about it, the National League to me is a mess. Like I don't know who's gonna come out of the National League. You've got the Machado move to San Diego, which I think is going to make a difference. The Harper move obviously is going to make a difference to the balance of power in the East.
That East is so loaded.
The Central is tough. It's going to be I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch the National League this year. But anyway,
so many moves within the East.
We're teasing too much.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
I got nothing else, man.
Nothing else?
Nothing else.
So, I really don't have much else. Did you just one quick note since we are in basketball season? We got the Rockets and the Celtics playing today.
Oh.
And like most NBA games at this point in the season, unless it's two top teams or two bottom feeders, you're like excited to watch it, and you have a prediction one way or another. And this is one of those games, both of those teams, where I'm like, I have no freaking idea. And even like if you're a gambler, right?
Right.
The over/under is, I think, let's call it 230 or whatever.
Right.
I don't know, because it could be one of those games where the defense is, certainly in Boston's case, where they clamp down on Harden and both teams barely score 100, or Boston can go off.
Kyrie and Harden.
And Harden can go off, and we could have, a 144, 142 type of game. It's one of those games that I'm actually looking forward to watching.
Yeah.
I'm actually DVRing it.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to watching, simply because it's one of the few times I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, those two
teams are about as unpredictable as it gets.
Yeah, they really have been, and we talked about it last week with the Lakers. I mean, Boston and the Lakers. I mean, Boston's going to make the playoffs. The Lakers may not.
Oh, the Lakers aren't making it.
But you got two historic teams here that are really not looking like they're in good shape going in. Like, obviously the Lakers
coming into the stretch run, yeah.
But the Celtics are.
Well, people thought the Lakers were going to make the playoffs with the addition of LeBron. I don't think they're going to make it. Granted, him being out 17 games probably has something to do with it, but still, even with him there, they just don't look right. And the Celtics, for as much talent as they have, we thought they were going to be, battling for the top seed. They're in the middle of the pack in the playoffs. They're battling for home court in the first round. So it's a bit of a mess for two, like you said, historic franchises.
I think within like the last couple of weeks, the Lakers have lost to the Suns, Grizzlies, Cavs, and Knicks.
That's not good.
How?
That's not good. The Knicks need to stop winning basketball games. How are they going to get Zion?
They'll never get him like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Speaking of Zion, did you see him blow out that shoe? Zion 1, Nike shoe 0.
I mean, I may think twice about buying a Nike sneaker next time.
I mean, they gotta like double reinforce those.
The way I ball on the basketball court.
You're kind of like Zion.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The power.
Minus 240 pounds. Oh, speaking of Zion, I wish I could remember this guy's name at the Combine. Right, the Combine started on Friday or Saturday. They got this guy in there. This may be the LeBron James / Zion Williamson of football. I mean, this guy is huge, and he ran a really fast, like a 4.4 40-yard dash.
Damn.
I can't remember his name, but he will. If you go back and you look at the Combine or highlights, he will stand out. The guy is ripped.
I probably saw that guy, but I just couldn't get over the fact that Kyler Murray is 5'10" and an 1/8 of an inch. And all I kept thinking when I heard that was, did they shave the middle of his head so that because that 1/8 of an inch
they
could
would have
be
shaved
hair.
it this way.
How do they measure it? I don't know. However they measure it, they needed right because he's got quite a bit of hair, and even if you push it down, that hair still has some level of thickness to it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that 1/8 of an inch hair or is that
maybe
his head?
Well, maybe they measured two things, right? His height with hair, and then they measured his hair. Then they subtracted, and that's how they came up with.
But how do you measure him just to his head if he's got hair on it? You don't.
Well, you measure the hair, the
length of
the
hair.
But
then are you stretching it out too much because it's curly?
Well, you have to stretch it out, right? Because it's compressed, but then the reality, the real length of that hair is stretched out.
I don't know.
Weird.
But that's exactly why I don't go to the combine, because I don't want people taking that 1/8 of an inch off my hair.
You know what we should do for next week's show?
The combine?
The IQ test.
The IQ test?
Yes.
I'll fail.
We should do it.
The Wonderlick?
The Wonderlick. Yeah, that's what it's called. I think. Yeah.
You get it?
I'm sure you can go online and maybe pull up a few questions. So you should have like 5 questions for me, and I'll have 5 questions for you.
All right. Let's do that. Let's look it up and let's do that next week. We will do our own combine with no running, no jumping, no catching.
Wait. You're at an advantage. You're a runner.
They don't run that kind of distance. They expect you to do it fast.
Well, you do it fast for 26.2 miles.
Well, if they had a combine for a marathon, I would do quite well. However, they expect you to sprint over 40 yards. I'm out. I'm winded at like 20.
Anything else from basketball that you want to?
No. I mean, we can pass on it for now.
Yeah,
I think you got anything else?
Nah, I think the West is really exciting right now. You got some teams in there, and the East is kind of after.
It seems like it's that way every year.
The Phillies are not jumping Philadelphia, but they are going to jump the. Remember Philadelphia jumping 76ers? No, the 76ers are jumping the Pacers.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they're gonna.
I don't think the Pacers.
I don't think the Pacers are gonna hold up. The 76. I like this. Man, I hate to say it, but I kind of like the 76ers team, man. I like. They need Embiid though.
Oh yeah.
They
absolutely
it's a
completely different team without.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a given. No, yeah, and they've got a lot of players, man.
Yeah.
They're a good team. It's gonna be fun to watch the stretch run.
Shoutouts.
You got any?
I don't have any. I just happened to see this tweet today, and I looked it up for shits and giggles. My shout out goes to you're gonna fucking laugh. It goes to Manute Bol. Manute Bol.
Isn't he dead?
He is, but 26 years ago today.
Hey man, he's dead. Leave him alone.
He deserves a shout out.
Hey, he's not gonna hear you.
He deserves no, but his son will. Bol is he's gonna get drafted. He's gonna get drafted, bro.
I can't believe you're shouting out a dead guy. My shout out goes to George Washington.
Well, that would be July 4th. No, look, Manute Bol, 26 years ago today, bro. He knocked down 6 3-pointers. You know how many he had for his career?
7.
13.
Wow.
He had 13.
That's 13 more than I thought he would have had.
Bro, 6 3-point. I mean, you need to go look at these highlights. I mean, he chucked it back like Bill Cartwright from all the way back here. Listen, besides that, props to that guy, because being that big in the NBA is not easy, man. He played...
Not when you're that skinny.
No, but that's from... Bro, he had a pretty long career.
All things considered, yeah.
Yeah, and to be that... I mean, you think of people of... athletes or basketball players that tall, Yao Ming, Sean Bradley, I guess. I mean, that's not good for them.
Yeah,
in the long
body's
run.
Not.
I mean, look at the way Phil Jackson walks, and he's not even their height.
Yeah, the construction, the construction of our feet is not made to hold up 7'6".
Yeah, no, and running on that hardwood, I mean,
yeah.
So besides the 6 3-pointers of 26 years ago from Manute Bol, just I guess the career he had, it wasn't a Hall of Fame career. The guy averaged like 2.6 points a game, but I don't care. Shout out to Manute Bol. And that's all I have.
Jesus Christ.
Hey man, out the box.
That's amazing. My shout out goes to Kamaru Usman Kamaru Usman last night defeated Tyron Woodley by unanimous decision. And when I say unanimous decision, it was unanimous.
Yeah.
He beat the brakes off of him. He beat him up for 5 rounds. Absolutely dominated a champion that people were talking about as being one of the best welterweights ever. And, it was his 5th title defense, and it did not go well at UFC 235 last night. Kamaru Usman was just all over him. Really, just an incredible performance by him in a pressure-packed situation. Tyron Woodley is a guy that he looked up to and that he admired, and that became his goal, that became his target, and eventually he got there. And in moments like that, it can be very intimidating for a guy to step into a cage and to fight basically someone that he admires. And he did it. And he did it in front of his daughter for the first time, which is very neat. Very emotional scene after the fight when he got his belt and was holding his daughter. But really, the guy, just an unbelievable performance last night against a class act and superb athlete in Tyron Woodley. And he made him look bad at times. Literally dominated him from bell to bell, 25 minutes. So my shout out goes to Kamaru Usman.
That's pretty impressive. When I didn't watch the fight, but I read it in the on Twitter, and Tyron Woodley's been dominating himself pretty much for quite some time, and for him to get dominated,
it was amazing.
Yeah,
it was absolutely amazing. I was watching the fight, and as the time went on, I was like, I can't believe that he's making Woodley look this bad, really. And the amazing part about it also with Usman is just what an incredible gas tank. To go at that pace for 25 minutes, it's just amazing. It's like sprinting full speed for 25 minutes or flexing for 25 minutes nonstop. It's crazy. It's crazy. And they're crazy athletes in general, but what Usman did last night was just on another level. Well, that's it.
Damn.
I have no idea which podcast this is. 65?
65.
Are you sure?
I'm sure, and I have no idea.
I can't think of a 65. Yeah, we're getting to these numbers now where it's not going to kick up again until we get into the 80s.
Shout out to the number 65. That was my career grade average in high school, junior high school, and elementary. Barely passing, baby. 65 all the way.
You're like Chris Davis every year, buddy.
That's
65 average. It didn't matter if you started off with a 30 or you started off with an 80. By the end of the year, it was a solid 65 across the board.
I was a 65 all throughout my school career, and I'm here now with the podcast, doing a podcast with my brother. So it turned out all right, goddammit.
Well, consistency is key. Consistency is key.
Right.
All right, man. That's too funny. And with that, folks, we've come to the end of another wonderful episode of the Positive Sports Podcast. As always, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your comments. If you want to reach out to the show, you can do so via email at positivesports10@gmail.com. Positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of this guy, how do they do that?
On Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho 1. I want to hear from all of you that are listening to this podcast. Comment. I don't care if you subscribe or not. Just comment. Let us know what you guys think. We just want to interact with anyone and everyone that listens to this podcast.
That's right. If you want to get a hold of me, you can do so on Twitter as well at eMontana21. That is that, folks. As always, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.